Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Soul Survivors, a brand new segment here where I interview victims of random forms of abuse. Listen as I chronicle their harrowing stories of abuse, recovery, and survival. Today's Soul Survivor is Jamie, who, at the age of 15, was forced into an abandoned trailer and gang raped by 4 unknown individuals. For 2 days, she was held down, forced to perform oral, was anally penetrated before she was vaginally penetrated as she lost her virginity to these 4 assailants. Being tied down to a chair, overhearing their conversations of whether or not they were going to stab or shoot her depending on which weapon they can get the quickest, all before she was able to make her escape as the sun began to rise. You will hear the full, uncensored story in her own words in an audio recording that I do have permission to share at the end of the interview. So stay tuned. And I must give a warning. This story is not for the faint of heart, but it's a story that must be told. So, today we're here with Jamie. Before we get into today's conversation, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am 32, officially, and I live in New Jersey, and I've been living in New Jersey for past 10 years or so. Before that, I lived in Florida, a little bit of everywhere. I was down there for on and off 7 to 9 years, but I was born in New Jersey. I was born over in Red Bank, and I lived in Silverton growing up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously we kind of spoke about what this whole, for lack of better terms, interview is about. So about how long ago did this happen?
We are going on 17 years.
17 years?
17 years.
Okay. You said you're 32 now, so you were, what, 14?
15.
15 years old? Now, the people or persons that did this, which we'll get into that a little bit later, so nothing came out of this from the legal side whatsoever?
No.
No? Take us through the events. So, you were 15 years old?
Yeah, I was living in Davie, Florida.
Okay.
Which is around the Fort Lauderdale area.
And how many people were involved in this?
4.
4, not including you?
Not including me. So if we're including me, then it would be 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened?
I had plans to walk over to my friend's house. She lived in the same trailer park that I did. I want to say we were maybe 3/4 of a mile apart from each other.
Okay.
I was walking to her house. We had plans to literally make cookies or something stupid. And while walking to her house, there's this dirt roadish, and on the other side of it there's a canal, and on the other side of the canal there's a fence that led to another apartment complex type deal.
Yeah.
And I was walking to her house, and these guys had approached me, started talking to me, and I tried ignoring them, and I continued walking, and they kept following me, just saying the dumbest things ever.
And obviously you don't know them, right? At
No,
all?
I
Don't
don't
even
know.
notice them? Haven't seen them around? Or have they been...
I mean, had I seen them possibly before? Sure,
Okay.
maybe, but
You're not...
yeah,
you're
I'm not,
recognized.
it's not anybody that I would have talked to. It's not like they're a friend of a friend,
Okay.
trying to talk to me, for lack of a better word, it was some dudes that I might have seen at the corner store before.
Okay, that's what I was figuring. Okay.
When you're, it was a small kind of community, so you have a gas station that's nearby. There was a small gaming center that was literally all walking distance from where I lived. So, but these weren't my friends. These weren't people that I knew their names, you know what I mean? I didn't know them.
Complete
So
strangers.
right, that's why I was ignoring them.
Okay.
I grew up being told, if you see a stranger, just keep it moving,
Of course, yeah. Of course, don't talk to strangers.
Exactly, yeah. So they they really started following me.
Okay.
So you start doing the whole, all right, well, maybe I'll do a little bit of a jog, but not a run, because if you run, then they're going to chase you, and
Right.
that's not what I was trying to do. based on my appearance, it's kind of sort of clear I'm not built for running. I've never been built for running. I've always been like, if I'm stuck in a situation where I have to defend myself, I'm going to defend myself.
Okay.
What ended up happening was they didn't stop following me. I started running. Yeah. I tried running. I'm not very fast. They caught me. They grabbed me.
Oh no.
And they told me that if I literally said anything from that point, that was gonna be it. My ass was gonna be in a canal and a gator was gonna eat me, and that was gonna be it. They dragged me across the canal. There was a couple planks of wood, like fucking broken up pallets. People used to walk back and forth through the fence, from the apartment complex into the trailer park. And there was an abandoned trailer on the other side, and they they literally took turns raping me. And it just
Are you okay? We could stop.
Can we for like a minute?
Yeah. Who was the first person you told after it happened?
The first person that I told after it happened was actually a boss of mine from when I was young. I used to do like mobile detailing. I used to wash cars and stuff. And I had work like the next morning, and he asked me what was wrong and like why I looked like shit, and so I kind of sort of ended up telling him, not like I meant to, but like it just kind of happened that way.
Right.
I wasn't trying to tell my mom or my dad or my little sister, because there was a whole separate like dramatic thing that was going on, and I was not trying to be like, oh, here's my issue.
Right.
It was a weird time for me. Like, I was also trying to be like kind of sort of a provider for my family. Like, my dad was out of work because he had broken the tip of his elbow, and he, whatever, like workman's comp type stuff, what I mean? So like, me having a job was pretty much like me providing for my family, so I wasn't dealing with a lot of stress, you know what I mean? Just trying to figure out how to live life.
Of course. Now, if you could, what was your boss's reaction to it? Like, was he? Well, I would imagine there would be some shock. Obviously.
He asked me if I was sure.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. I will leave that there.
Yeah.
That is a stupid question. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So he was like,
Are you sure you got raped?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He asked me if I was okay. He asked me if I needed anything. He took me to a clinic like a week or so later.
Got you tested?
Yeah.
All right. When did your parents find? Well,
my dad passed away in September last year and did not know. If my mom ends up watching this will be how she finds out.
Okay. And obviously, with you being that young, keeping it away from your parents, I get you were more than likely scared shitless of going to the cops. I would imagine, right? Or was someone like, hey, that might not be a good idea? Like, what was the...
So, there's a lot of things that were going on at the time, you know what I mean? So it's like, A, who's gonna believe me?
Of course, yeah.
B, even if they did, I don't know who these guys were.
Right.
What are the cops gonna do? Walk up and down the street and just tag every guy that might fit whatever description I could give them? That's not realistic.
Of course, yeah.
And I grew up in the era of like Unsolved Mysteries and
Yeah.
Law and Order and, you know, shit like that. And it's like, I've watched how TV portrays even how hard it is for survivors of any sort of sexual assault or rape to even be believed. And if that's TV, why would that work in real world?
I mean, these shows come from people's minds, which means everything derives from real life at some point in time.
Exactly.
So I understand that thing.
Right.
I get it. Especially with your boss saying, "Are you sure?" I mean, that alone is like, okay, if he's obviously he'll know you more than any cop walking the beat.
Right.
So I could see why you would think that. So I understand that. So obviously till this day you have no idea what these guys' names are.
No.
Do you have any idea how old they might have been at that time?
They were older than me.
Okay.
And if I was gonna put an age on them,
Yeah.
I would probably say like early to mid 20s.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, like these.
Wow.
Yeah, they.
Jesus Christ. Wow. Sorry.
I mean,
I'm like,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, like they were not kids my age. Like the kids that were my age, I would have like just literally just fought them fair and square.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
you know, like I wasn't exactly known for not fighting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got the Black Air Force One energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you ready for the smoke? I got you.
Yeah. So I mean, like, these were dudes. Like these were men. Like.
Yeah. So yeah, you're not gonna sit there and scrub against 4 grown ass men.
No, I mean, especially when they're threatening you. Like,
of course.
It's not.
And just to, so by any off chance, they happen to watch this.
I hope they're dead. Like,
of course.
I literally hope they're dead.
You could look them if you can send them a message right now, if they happen to be watching this. Chances are pretty low, but still, if they're watching, what would you say?
You have fucked up every day of my life for the past 17 years because of something that you chose to fucking do. Good job.
And leave it at that.
Fuck them.
Do you think about what happened to you on a daily basis still? Or
so
did you go to counseling? What's...
Okay, so I have gone to therapy.
Okay.
And that was actually kind of like a recent thing that I did. Because I don't like talking about this to anybody. And here I am. But,
yeah, right, you don't say. No.
Yeah, right. And as far as on a day-to-day basis, do I think every day about it? No, I don't. No, I don't. I've gotten to the point where I don't anymore.
Okay.
Is it more of my week than less of my week? No, it's not. I've gotten to the point where it's situational when I'll think about it. You know, if I see somebody that resembles one of them. Okay.
A little trigger.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Like, if something about a situation doesn't feel right, you know, like that, like Sixth Sense, like where you get like the goosebumps and stuff, you know, like why do I feel this way? And it's like, do I feel this way because of this? You know, and it's like, I don't know if there's even certain smells. If I smell something that reminds me of that,
there's a trigger.
There it is. You know what I mean? Like,
it's tricky. It's a tricky situation.
Right, and there's
anything could happen.
Exactly. Like if somebody, like even like in work, or like if you're in a crowded area, or if there's too many people, you know, like it becomes overwhelming because I feel smothered again. You know? If I'm like shopping at like Walmart or whatever, and you know, guys do this thing where they'll walk up behind you and just kind of put their hand on your back and just be like, "Oh, I'm just trying to get over there." That'll fucking like, why are you touching me? Why are you coming up from behind me? How am I allowing you to get that close to me without me knowing? And then that's where it cycles and it spirals out. I have night terrors, and I don't get to pick and choose when I have a bad dream.
Of course.
And I don't get to pick and choose what part of what happened I get to relive. And that's something that I don't think people understand. Is that it's not just a distant memory when I literally relived it over and over and over and over and over again. And the only reason why I can say I don't think about it every day is because I've had 17 years to get over it. And I don't want anybody else that you may talk to in the future, or that you have already talked to, or that may even be watching this, to feel like because it's been so long and I'm still having issues, that it's not going to get any easier, because it will. It will get easier. But that doesn't discredit everything that I've had to go through to get here. And
holy shit, hold on, I'm getting emotional. What? Whoa.
You need a tissue.
This motherfucker's spitting right now.
You need a tissue, my guy.
I ain't no bitch. We cool. Fuck, that just gave me like goosebumps. Well, that's a perfect segue, because I was going to tell you, you know, for those who have gone through similar things and have kind of been, you know, not so forward and keeping it buried deep within them, like, you have anything else that you could possibly say to them who are too scared to even get counseling?
Something that I feel like you guys should know is that there is no book or pamphlet, there's nothing that no literature online really that can tell you exactly how to live or cope after you've gone through something like this. And I feel like I should mention this only because I feel like I've made all the right mistakes to be able to provide maybe some better information to you guys. But I spent like my early 20s literally having sex with whoever I could. And that was to reclaim my body, my sexuality, to give myself power. And that may not be the road that anybody wants to take. Only because it leads to other issues further down the road. Like abandonment. Like not feeling like you're worth anything other than your body. And you are so much more than what you can give anybody else. Having something taken from you and trying to reclaim it in that same way is not a path that's easy to walk down. I also used a lot of drugs in my early 20s, you know. I smoked a lot of pot. I did a lot of coke. I drank a lot. I did hallucinogenics, you know what I mean? I did whatever I could to feel what I thought was supposed to be me. And when you're in an altered state because you're just constantly trying to sweep things under the rug, all you're going to end up is a pile of shit in the middle of your living room floor and you didn't know how it got there. So, literally, try finding counseling or somebody that you could talk to. Because even letting it off your chest for 5 minutes will save you years of your life. I could have died doing the drugs and the drinking the way that I was. And I wouldn't be here to be able to tell anybody anything. I wouldn't be able to give that power back to myself. Because I thought I was trying to get it back. But I was doing it the wrong way. So whatever you guys decide to do, just make sure that you're doing it for you and that you're doing it in a healthy way. Don't hurt yourself any more than you've already been hurt.
I would like to be the first to thank Jamie for coming on this platform and sharing her story with me and everyone else that is watching right now. If you're someone who would like to share your story on this platform, please feel free to reach out to me to any one of my social media links, which are in the description box below, or seek counseling. Because remember, you must shed light on your past in order to have a brighter future. Stay tuned, because now you will hear the rest of Jamie's story in her words. Thank you.
So, being dragged from some place that you were currently standing into a place where you don't know where you're going is terrifying. I literally was like forced grabbed and walked like across a shitty ass canal, through a fence, into an abandoned trailer. The trailer was empty for a length of time, and it had that hot, musty smell.
Mildewy.
Yeah, like it was a fucking abandoned trailer in Florida that probably had a leak or something in it, you know what I mean? And all you can smell is that mold and musky kind of smell. And I didn't get to even really say anything, you know? I got fucking clocked in the face a couple of times, and they were essentially like, you're going to do this, and what are you going to do about it? And, like, they made me suck their dicks. They had forced me onto the ground.
Okay.
I was literally, anally raped before I was even vaginally raped. And I did not have sex with anybody beforehand, so that was a completely new experience to me. And it was excruciating.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, it wasn't like, let's ease into this and, like, give the girl some fucking lube or anything. They didn't care. And the only way I can explain how that felt was literally being ripped apart. Like, your skin being ripped apart. I couldn't breathe because of the way that they were holding me down. My face was literally in the carpet, and all I could smell was the mold and the dirt. I'd remember asking them for water at one point because my mouth was so dry, and they said it was plenty wet enough. I'd passed out at some point because I remember when it happened, the sun was up. And then I remembered waking up and the sun was no longer up.
So we're talking at least a few hours.
At this point, yeah. Then they didn't know what to do with me.
So they just left?
No, they didn't.
Oh.
They...
Doesn't say like...
I fucking wish that it's happened like that, but that's not how that happened. There was a couple of chairs in the abandoned trailer. Like old wooden fucking piece of shit wooden ones. And they belted me to the chair.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So my hands were behind my back, belted behind the chair. And they had me sitting there for a while. And I know the one guy was like, he fucking fell asleep. I think he was like on drugs, or maybe he was drunk or something, but he had passed out. And the other guy left to go get a shower because he still had work and stuff to do.
What the fuck?
Yeah. They left a guy there to babysit me, and the guy, the oldest one, he was like, I'll be back. He's like, I gotta figure out what to do with the bitch. And I could hear from them talking because they were like trying to not talk around me, but they were definitely trying to figure out if he was gonna go get a knife or a gun and which one he could get fastest. Because they were gonna kill me.
What the fuck?
They had intentions of literally killing me.
So how did you end up leaving? Like,
I took an opportunity when the fucking dude had dipped off to talk to the other guy that was there, And I was like, listen, I really gotta use the bathroom. And he was like, just go where you're sitting. I'm like, I can't. And he was like, might as well. And I was like, alright, whatever. That didn't work. I told him I was hungry. He didn't care. But he got hungry. So he was like fucking constantly on his phone, and he's like, dude, you gotta bring back something to eat. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's getting fucking late, this type, whatever. And, the dude that left didn't fucking ever answer him, I guess. And he was like, well, you're fucking tied up and homie's sleeping back there, so you'll be fine. And he left to go get food. So, while the other guy was passed out, I fucking kept rocking the chair. And I got the legs to break in the back, and I fell over on the side. And I broke part of the chair that I was fucking belted to. And I was able to wiggle the belt underneath myself. And it took me fucking forever, but I was able to slip my foot under the belt.
Oh.
And I was able to get my wrist down by my ankle, and I just kept fucking rolling the belt so that way the buckle would come to the front.
Oh my god.
And I had to fucking it fucking took me forever when I'm telling you, like, it took me forever. Like, maybe it wasn't as long as I feel like it was, but it felt like it was fucking forever.
Of course.
I got the fucking belt buckle undone, got out of it, and I fucking broke out a window and left out the window because I was afraid to go through the front door, because I felt like if I went out the front door, I might have run into them. I didn't know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I ran, and I kept running, and then the sun started rising, and I'd realized I'd already been there for over a day. Dude, I was gone for 2 days. For 2 days.